Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and today we do something a little bit special for the episode 510 in this channel, because we are talking about the graphical user interface features of Sailfish OS. So in the end, why are we doing that? Today is the last day of the pre-ordering of the Jolla 2026 version, meaning the Jolla Phone 2 or the J2 can only be pre-ordered for today anymore, okay? So after that it will be full priced. If you really want to come on the boat and you are just struggling with, hey, should I buy this? Will I be able to use this phone, interface-wise at least, and so on and so forth, this video is really for you. And yeah, as mentioned before, please make your mind very, very fast, because today is the last day you can pre-order the Jolla Phone 2. Yeah, and for that I'm going to show you a couple of different things on the smartphone itself. And so let's have a look at that together. And I'm going to show you to swipe around a little bit, show you a couple of different features. You already can see some of them, but I'm going to show you more in the video now. Yeah, and here we are. And as you can see, this is my Sony Xperia 10 Mark III, which we are going to have a look at in this small preview. And what you already can see is it's now totally shut down. There is a start button for the smartphone, and we can activate here with a fingerprinter later on too. And there are a couple of other options here for the smartphone, but just to show you the interface, I'm going to go on with this now. So let's long click on this one. If I press that, it takes a couple of seconds probably. And after that, we should be seeing everything we want to see. It takes a little to start the smartphone up, of course. So by Sony, as you can see. And now it's just going to show you Sailfish OS, of course. There's a little indicator light at the top there. That indicator light is just showing you that everything is fine and he's going to start in the right mode, because when you are flashing it or whatever, then you see a couple of different other things there. Okay, so in the end, as you can see, we now have to put in our security code. I will do that right now. This is the first security code which you will have to enter no matter what if you restarted this phone. So in the end, you can't access the phone after restart for the first time with your fingerprint scanner or something. You will have to go into that with this kind of part. And we are going to be asked a couple of times for different kinds of codes, of course. For instance, for the SIM card. This is a dual SIM slot smartphone, so it will take, I think, at least 2 or 3 times with different kinds of security codes. So this one again, we can now try to do that. If I click on that, you will see he is going to tell us, sorry, your fingerprinter will not be used in this case. You will have to enter your code again. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, perfect. And now he's going to ask us for our SIM code. So give me a second for that one. It's dual SIM code. So in the end, here is the second one. He's going to ask you if you have set up a code for that one too, here again. So let's put that one in too. Yeah, and after that, you're going to be in the start screen. As you can see, there was this small little menu which was opening up there just to show you, hey, down there is something you can push on. First off, I want to show you a little bit about this screen you are on at the moment, or talk about that. This is just the start screen. There's nothing happening at the moment because there's no app running. In general, if there would be an app running at the moment, you would already see a small little representation of that app with a couple of informations on that. But first off, let's have a look into the probably into the menu at the top first. Let's start with that. You already know that from other types of operation systems. As you can see, you have a couple of different options here. There are those different kinds of ambiances you can see there. I have my own on there, so it's a Moana-themed one. But of course, if you want to have a different one, we can, for instance, click on that. And as you can see, you get a different kinds of ambience. The ambience is going to change different kinds of things. For instance, it's of course going to change the background color, but it will also change different kinds of things like the highlight color of the whole operation system. So in the whole operation system, the highlight color will now be this orange in this case. And there can be more than only that. You can do stuff like, hey, how loud should something be? Should it be vibrating? Should there be some kind of a ringtone going on? Should it be a different one? And stuff like that can all be connected to your ambience. In the end, everything else is the same, and you can of course just swipe around, do different kinds of them. You can have as many as you want. Those are my custom ones, and of course if you swipe around at the top here, you can see that we have a couple of them already pre-installed. For this instance, this one would be a brighter one, so if you are into bright designs and not into dark designs, this might be the right one for you too. Okay, anyway, I am one, have a couple of them. I'm going to use maybe this one just to show everything off here. Okay, so in the end, as you can see, maybe I'm not going to use that one because it has the wrong highlight color, as you can see here. I'm going to use Moana 3, which is the right highlight color for me. I'm used to that. Of course, you can now use whatever you want there. There was a notification. You can already see that up there. Somebody talked about something, and it's going to be showing up there. So notifications will work. If I go up here, there is, this was a notification by Streamer. Streamer is running already on the smartphone in the background. Here you can see we can have a look at these notifications by just swiping to the left in this case. Up there you can see the weather forecast which I installed, which is going on there. And now you already can see, hey, I got a new mail. For this, I'm going to show you both of those in a second. And here you can, of course, have a look at the different things which are happening. Of course, I have set up this smartphone to show the Berlin weather in this case. I'm not in Berlin, just to tell you. And in the end, you can already see everything here. Notifications will be here in different kinds of groups. And of course, if you want to have a look at those, you can look at them, close them all down, or just go and swipe them away each by themselves. If you just long click on them, for instance, you can now swipe them off the screen. Streamer is running in the background to give me this push-in information, so I'm going to leave this. I can't even get rid of it in the end if I'm not going to get rid of Streamer or the service of it. Other than that, as you can see, we got this small little email. I prepared that one to show you the email client. So first off, you could, of course, now click on that and just go to the email client and have a look at that. It's just another test mail. But before we are going to have a look at that one, I'm just going to show you what's going on here. So the email client is now actively running in the background, and it's showing this small little icon here. So this small little icon you can see there is more or less the app running, showing you where it's going to be on, what's going on there, and that you got a new email in this case. Sometimes there are more information or more emails showing up there. In this case, depends on what you want to do. If you go to the outer one, you can already see the information there changed because we are not in that kind of info screen in the app itself anymore. We now see we have 0 new unread emails because we just opened up the other one I got there. Gerade eben means just now, more or less in German, and just now just means that it's the refresh time, more or less. So if you refreshed it for the last time 20 minutes ago or something, then that would happen. And of course, it can automatically refresh or just refresh if you manually do that, depending on what you want to. And as you can see on this small little card there, there's a button down there. This is a refresh button. So if you want to not go into the app or whatever, you can often do stuff on the home screen here already by just clicking on that. It's refreshed, and of course there is nothing else on this page for now, so we already see the current state. Other than that, of course, let's go down and have a look at the screen parts or the different apps I have installed here. So I use this smartphone for a long time now, so I have a couple of different apps, of course, in some folders even and stuff like that. If you start this smartphone for the first time, you are probably only going to see, let's say 8 or something apps on the smartphone by default. The default ones will be, of course, camera, media. I think email is pre-installed too. You will see calendar, I think. You will see the messages, so SMS and stuff like that. All the telephone stuff and contacts will all show up. And of course, the Jolla store itself. I think close to anything else is installed by myself. I'm not sure at the moment, but probably more or less that should be all the different apps you will see by yourself if you are starting there. And all the other stuff is installed by myself. That includes something like audio recorder. I think it even includes the file browser. You will have to install that by yourself from one of the stores available in the Jolla store in this case. Talking about stores, I'm just going to go into the stores here. And as you can see, we have a couple of different ones already installed on the smartphone. Those are the most important ones. In the end, what you will find at the start is, of course, only the Jolla store. Aurora Store, for instance, will give you access to different kinds of Android apps from the Google Play Store, but in a more, I don't know if you can call it secure way, but in a more private way in the end. And F-Droid, for instance, will give you all the FOSS apps, so the free and open source ones can be downloaded from there. Open Web Browser, or Storeman in this case, will give you all the Jolla native apps, and Sham GUI will give you another option to get Jolla native apps. Okay, so go down again and let's have a look. As you already can see here, you can't really make a difference between the different kinds of apps. For instance, if I open up one of the Android apps in this case, you will not really see a big difference in behavior or something. So it's very well integrated. If I, for instance, open up the browser first, which is this one, this is a default browser. Of course, this one is pre-installed too. As you can see, we are in the browser now. We can swipe around a little bit, have a look at the different content on the screen here and stuff like that. All fine and dandy. And of course, it's working for most of the website already nicely. But if you have something that is not working with the Jolla browser, which might happen if you're using a very, very new website or something that uses a very fancy feature or something, then, as you can see, I'm swiping from the right to get it to minimize more or less. Then you can go and get into the Android parts. For instance, this is Firefox Clara, or Firefox in this case. I can open that up and it behaves exactly as the other one. I can, of course, put something in now. Here is, of course, the keyboard to do that, which I'm going to talk about a little bit in a second about. So let's have a look at that. And as you can see, we are on the same web page. Maybe it's a little bit more fluent working and stuff like that. And it will do exactly the same job as the other one. As you can see, we have now 3 of those apps actively on the screen here. And of course, we can go on and have, for instance, a look at the calculator, whatever. This is a native app. Calculator is just going to give you an option to just, I don't know, do some kind of small little calculations here. If you do a little of them each by itself, you can see all the different ones you had in a history in this case. And of course, if you go to the screen here again, you can already see, you see the contents of the calculator even on the big screen here in the smaller kind of fashion in this case. Very helpful in many situations. Okay, so let's have a look and put in another one. For instance, what would we like to add there? Let's say we want to add, the Enjoyer app, for instance. The Enjoyer app, as many of you already know, the Jolla Phone 2026 is currently in the last part of its pre-ordering phase. So if you want to get on the boat, please do that now, because you only have a couple of hours left, maybe 3, maybe even 1 if I'm posting this, I'm not sure. And you can see we are very close to the 10,000 mark already. 10,000 is the last you can pre-order anyway, depending on how much is going to go on there, but 10,000 is the last one you can do. So if you really want to join the boat, do that now. Otherwise, you're going to pay the full price for the smartphone if you are buying it later. This is a small little app, native app, which was developed just to show you what the current status of this pre-order number is. Other than that, of course, we can go on and put in more of that. So let's open up the email one again. Again, I'm just swiping from the side to get it to minimize. And as you can see, we have another one on the start screen here. Let's go in and get another one open. I don't know, let's use audio recorder or something. It really doesn't matter much. Here you can, for instance, record some audio if you want to. As you can see, we have another one. You could even start a recording from this kind of screen here in there, and so on and so forth. Let's go down and have a look at something different. For instance, let's have a look at one of the smaller games. This one is a game which is native to Sailfish OS, so some kind of a smaller game I'm playing there, doesn't really matter. And in the end, all you can see here is now, hey, we have more than the apps which are allowed on the home screen here, so it's going to be a little bit smaller and showing you everything else on this part again. And so on and so forth. If you want to close one down, just hold your button long. If you do that, you can just select which ones you want to get rid of in this case, for instance like this. If you are ready, just click again and it's going to change the screen again. And of course, if you want to get rid of all of them, just go to the upper menu. This is a very special feature from Sailfish OS, for instance. You can see that already on there. There's this small little indicator. There's a bar more or less, which is telling you, hey, there's something to be selected in this mode. Selection is just done by swiping down in the end in this case, and then you can just select one of the options you see there, and if you leave it more or less alone then it's going to do exactly what you created there. And if you don't want it, just move it up again and then nothing will happen. Okay, so let's have a look at another app where we can see that even in a better way. Here you can already see we have an upper bar there and a lower bar too. So there are two different kinds of indicators or navigations you can access here. For instance, if I long click and just more or less swipe down now, you can see there are a couple of different options available for this small little overview we see here. For instance, we can refresh everything. If I do that, you can already see there's this blinking, which is indicating that it's going to be done now, and it refreshed the page. Other thing, if I go to the bottom here and swipe from that kind of part there, we can see we can even do the refresh again too. If you want to, there would be, if there are more than we can see on this page here, you would be able to more or less get more of the emails shown in this part there. Other than that, there's a different thing which you might already have noticed. There is this small little, more or less highlight or whatever you want to call that. This highlight means we can swipe to the right in this case. And again, to the left, because then it's going to be on that part. Sometimes you will see it on both sides, depending on what the app is offering. And as you can see, we can go to another options or whatever there is on this kind of app in this case. If you want to, for instance, create your own folders and stuff like that, we can go up there, of course. And if you want to, for instance, go into an email in this case, you can already see this. We have a couple of different informations here about this email showing up in this case. And if, for instance, you want to have a look at the additional parts, sometimes you will have to move them over. Sorry, just to show you that. The image here is very large, so first off you are going to scroll in this part and then you are going to scroll over. That's just some of the indications which are there. If you have a look at that, then you can already see we have a couple of different informations about all the different things which are going on here. For instance, in this email, which kind of properties there are. And if we go back here, go back to the overview, we can of course go to the other ones. And of course, just as I mentioned, let's answer to this. If we answer to this, then you already can see, okay, they're going to bombard me with different kinds of things up there. Maybe we are just going to cut off the line there, just to make that a little bit more empty in this case. So we have our quiet in the end, and we can work with it. As you can see, we can now answer it, and there is our keyboard at the moment. So we can of course just put something in, and just to let you know, we are in the German mode at the moment, so this is probably not the right way to do it. I'm just going to put something in German, and as you can see, we get some kind of yeah, more or less of advices, which kind of or suggestions, which kind of words we wanted to write there. And for instance, if we wanted to write this word, we can just click on it and work with that in this case. And yeah, there are a couple of different keyboards available. Of course, we can do this, for instance. If you want to, you can go to the different kinds of different yeah, chars and stuff like that. So stuff that wouldn't fit on the first screen can be found here. We can go through that, click on that to swipe to the next parts and stuff like that. And of course, if you, for instance, don't want it to be German or use another keyboard there, you can of course go and just swipe to one of the other ones. For instance, this is a German one with voice recognition integrated. So that is of course possible too. And if you are searching, for instance, for this kind of stuff, so for instance, if you want to get some kind of emoji or whatever, this is an own keyboard too. So you will have to install your own keyboards depending on what you want and get them more or less from the stores or get them from the keyboard installation wizards, whatever. And then you can of course get a lot of different things, different kinds of emojicons and all the different things you can imagine more or less, and work with that where you are context-based, of course. Yeah, and if you are happy with that, you can swipe around between the different kinds of keyboards. For instance, for instance, if you go here, you can see we are now in the English version of this keyboard, and whatever you installed, you will be able to use that. Here's the English versions, and of course, he's going to give you some kind of option to work with that too. Okay, so go back. Let's have a look at, yeah, he's going to ask us, hey, this app is trying to reach the internet, so please connect again. I don't have to. In the end, if you, for instance, want to select something, just long press somewhere, go there, use the different kinds of options to select stuff. And if you did that, now it's already copied, okay? So again, if you leave that open, you have copied that. And now we can, for instance, go write a new email in this case, and of course, just put it in, and you should be ready to go. Yeah, and of course, there's a lot more to find out about Sailfish, about the different kinds of options. For instance, you can just drag it only a little bit to see everything up there, here, and so on and so forth. If you have any notifications, these are even going to tell you that there are notifications on the next screen there. If I'm going to do that, you can already see that, then I can just swipe over, go there, and see more of that too, depending on what I want to do there. Anyway, there's a lot of different things I could show you with Sailfish OS. For instance, here are the settings. I'm going to click on that. And here you can already see there are a couple of different settings to set everything up like you want. And of course, if you're a developer or you want to tinker with it more deeply or whatever, then just go activate the developing mode. Give me a sec, I will have to search for it. There it is, Entwicklungswerkzeuge in German. If you activate that one, then you are asked to put in your security code again. If you did that, then you're going to have to more or less confirm that you are aware that this might change stuff, and then you are going to see this kind of part. There is an SSH option then. So let's go back again. You can see that already there's an SSH option to connect to it by the Wi-Fi you are in, and there is more to it because this will activate your the terminal, for instance. And now you can of course go in and use your terminal as you might already know from your Linux version. Other than that, there's a lot of other things I could try to tell you about in this video, but I think it's already long enough, and so I hope you had a little bit of an insight how to use a Sailfish OS, how to do it. Yeah, and so you have it. Hopefully you found out if you really like this phone, if you want to have it, and of course if you do, so please make sure that you are getting it right now, because as mentioned before, only today you can pre-order the smartphone anymore, because after that it's going to be full priced. And so to save a couple of bucks, you should get it now if you really want to join in. Other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, see you around, and of course if you liked this channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to it. If you have any kind of questions, comments, whatever, please make sure to post them down below into the commentary section. And other than that, see you around, thank you for watching, and bye. Bye!